I'm Mandy Evans. I'm a third grade teacher from Crumbs Lane Elementary. I'm here today to introduce to you a Smart Notebook lesson over multiplication concept reviews. This is to be used with third or fourth graders depending on where you're at in the multiplication standards. I hope you enjoy. Thanks. Alright, here is the multiplication concept review Smart Notebook lesson. I like how it starts off with telling all the concepts that is going to be covered on the slides, and each one has different notes that the students can take and then different examples that they can go through. Multiplication is. So it gives you a nice example of what multiplication is, and I like how it highlights the total number in equal groups. I know in third grade that vocabulary is very important, and using the factor and product is also very key when introducing multiplication to my students. The next is just some different ways that can show multiplication, and I like this because it kind of gives examples with erasers, something that is real world and they can relate to. Then it goes into a couple different examples, and I like how there's enough space to where they can show how they do it, and you can have kids do this at their seat and come up to the smartboard to write and show their work when they're finished. Again, another example. Then we go into the next review, and it's multiplication as an array. And again, I really like how you are able to kind of just let the students write this down and take notes on it and hit the key points that are highlighted and give examples. Okay, then here we have an array, and I like that it's very simple and easy, and it has different answers that they can choose, so they have to actually do the work and not just try to guess and write something down. Then we go into using multiplication to compare. What I like about this slide is that it uses different money, and again it has the highlighted word, and that word times. I know word problems are very trippy for most elementary students, and even moving on into middle school and high school, and being able to understand what those vocab words are when you see them can help you answer the word problems that you need to solve. So I like how it goes into those different examples, and you can see down at the bottom that you can do that at their desk. More examples. Alright, then we get into writing multiplication stories, and this actually makes them create multiplication stories to show that they can understand what type of words to look for when they are writing a multiplication sentence, and it can also help with word problems to figure it out. And here's some properties: commutative and associative, and it gives good examples, and I like the coloring here that shows the numbers, how they're switched around, so it's easy visually, and then they can also write it down and take notes so you can have it written down as well. Here's the other two. Okay, then we go into different examples with the properties, and you have to figure it out using the arrays and counting, and you can see down here at the bottom that the question mark, you can fill in the 5, and I like this because the students can do it at their seats, and then when you've given everyone a chance to try to answer it, you can call on someone to come up to the board and show how they find it. Another example with comparing using the greater than, less than, and equal to. And I like how they throw in the money sign because some students get confused when they see that, and that can also be used to teach students how to use a test strategy skill and automatically cross that C off because they know that that's not a symbol to use for comparisons. Another example. Alright, then we go into a different concept of understanding multiples. And a multiple, it gives the definition, and then we have a multiplication chart. And I like again that it has the red that can show you the different ways that you can use the charts. Let me see. and you can come over here and you can actually click on it to count all the multiples of 2's, and you can also flip them back around and do different types of multiples, so they can see how patterns occur, like when you do the 5's, all the multiples of 5's. You can go down and do the 10's. You can do any kind of multiples you want, and it can show the students the different patterns on looking like it at a number chart. Alright, then again we go into more examples with word problems. And I always like when I have my students come up to try to underline the important words and or highlight and kind of explain how they do it. And it gives it plenty of room over here to show their work. Another example. Another example. In this one they put the tables and chairs in a graph format, so it's kind of making them look at it in a different way. Again, I really like the examples and the amount that they give the students to create and do. Okay, then we get into solving two-step problems. And again, you can have the students write this down and kind of give it as a whole class group where you talk and then they can read and they can write it down as well to show their work up on the board after everyone's had a chance to make sure that they got the concept right. It gives them different steps that they can take. And then you get into your word problem examples. Alright. Alright, so that covers all the different concepts of multiplication. And what I really like is you don't have to go through and use this entire presentation all at once. If you want to talk about multiplication and arrays, you can go to those couple slides and use those examples. And then later on when they do the word problems and problem solving multi-step questions, then you can go and make it harder and as the students get more familiar with the multiplication. So that concludes the Smart Notebook lesson over multiplication concept reviews. I hope that you've enjoyed the slides and are able to use it with your students. It'd be a great lesson to use right before K-Prep testing to get them familiarized with all the multiplication standards that they've learned over the years. Thank you.